Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Naomi or Queen Jag. You can call me what you want. I'm that artist that went super viral for using myself to reference to draw popular characters, and more recently my actual art is gaining traction, which is nice. So y'all know that I don't just draw popular characters with big behinds. Anyways, with that comes a lot of questions about how to get better in anatomy. I did go from this to this. So there are some things I can say that would probably help you to improve your anatomy. And first, we're going to start off with a certain type of reference I look for on Pinterest and what I'm looking for in the body. So first thing, we're gonna break this video down into like 3 main points, which is the references I use, the reference photos that I use, and then how I'm actually going about practicing it. I'm not going to talk about tracing. I actually have a video on how I trace and what I look for that I think still holds up pretty well, even though my anatomy kind of improved since that too. I do owe a lot of my progress to tracing, but that is not where all of it comes from. There's other things you need to do, so this video is just going to be talking about that. So, first, let's talk about references. When I'm on Pinterest, typically I look for diagrams that look like this. And basically, that's just looking up muscle drawing reference. I like to look for the color-coded ones. It's extremely helpful for me to see the different muscles separated from each other. I didn't really know how the arms worked. I knew there was a front and a back muscle, but there's several muscles kind of all working together to create that look. Especially the tricep, the way that the tricep looks is just super hard for me to understand, but then you have diagrams like this that help me so much. Or understanding all the muscles in the back, it can be really easy to put a lot of extra lines where they don't need to go, so understanding kind of how that works really helps. And it helps with getting the proportions right too. I know a lot of people like to look at skeletons, which I sometimes look at, but for me, I think in muscle, for obvious reasons. So with that, I just tend to use muscles as a reference more. So reference photos that look like this, that's basically what I use when it comes to practicing anatomy and looking for references. Now we're going to talk about reference photos. So when it comes to reference photos, there's a lot of different things you can look up. I kind of don't remember what I first looked up, but it's worked out to where my Pinterest algorithm sort of tailors to what I want, so I'll just see a cool thing. But my biggest piece of advice is look at dancers, especially male dancers. I feel like So editing Naomi here, I forgot to mention that while I do mention dancers, pretty much any sport that's causing the body to contort or bend in a weird way is going to be good for reference photos. So not just ballet or dancers, but also things like soccer and tennis, especially soccer. They have some pretty cool moves, badminton, rugby, all of those sports. A lot of the athletes often have very defined bodies, and so it makes it very easy to pick out the anatomy and also pose them. So yes. Okay, back to the video at hand. Looking for anatomy with men can just be extremely hard because there's just what's wrong with y'all? Are y'all okay? It's not expressive or creative. It's getting better, but yeah. But yes, look up male ballerina dancers. I'll have some pictures right here. They're just in very unique poses that kind of help to stretch your idea of what body anatomy can do, what the body can do. It's a pretty amazing thing, and you don't really get that sort of practice just drawing normal poses like this from men. So I would recommend doing that. That's always helped me a lot. Also with women, same thing, but just look up dynamic poses on Pinterest. Look up fight poses too. That really helps. Yoga poses as well. And it's not like you may ever use these poses when illustrating in real life, but you'll find you'll probably be able to draw poses from memory because you have a good understanding of how the body works and what it should and shouldn't do. So yes, and for kind of a subset topic, when it comes to hands, literally just look up hand references and practice. That I would say definitely look at the bone structure. Same for the feet. I'm not going to show my feet on camera because some of y'all are weird. But yes, that's what I would say when looking for reference photos. Last thing we're going to talk about is how to practice, which I kind of covered when we were talking about what photos to look at. I would say just try and draw 1 or 2 poses every day, one from the front, one from the back. Or sometimes just practice upper body and then practice lower body separately. I think the important part that people don't realize is that Everyone works at their own pace. You know, people say I'm so good at art and I'm so talented. Y'all, I'm self-taught. It took me like 20 years to get here because I'm 20 years old, been drawing my whole life, and your progress may not look like as good as mine. It may look better than mine because some people I'm like, what the heck? How did you get that far? You're way younger than me. That's not fair. But you know what? I'm gonna just shut my mouth because I'm happy for them. But you get the point I'm saying, hopefully. Everyone's progress looks different, so please don't compare yourself to online people. Also, I think our backgrounds just in general and understanding the body of general probably plays a role into how good our progress is. I was a gymnast for like 10 years. I know the body and its limits very well when it comes to bending and stuff like that, and I'm able to transfer that very easily into my artwork. That is not how everyone thinks, but like my sports background has genuinely helped that. And you'll find that some people have just a really good understanding of bone structure, or they're like really into animals and things like that and can apply that to their art too. So it just really depends. So please don't be like, well, I should have gotten here by this point. I've been practicing every day. Like, don't do that. That's just not going to help you. Obviously, try and have some goals. You know, take pictures so you can see your improvement. But don't be so set in stone because you're just going to get depressed. You will. Like, I'm learning that when trying to work with perspective. I suck at it. That's why all my characters float in negative space. But unfortunately, when you want to write a graphic novel, they can't just float in negative space. So that pretty much concludes this video. I hope that was helpful. I tried to make it less rambly. I don't really plan out my videos that I talk as much. I'm gonna try and do more of them because they're actually pretty easy to film. I'm just busy because of school, but work was canceled today, so y'all are getting blessed. So good luck with anatomy. Don't be discouraged. Remember, reference photos. I tend to look at muscles. Some people look at bone structure. So it just kind of depends. Some people look at both. Reference photos. My biggest piece of advice was to use dancers because you'll get a good understanding really quick. Another thing I forgot to add is it doesn't really matter how big or small the muscles are, the bones are always the same. So learn how to draw with probably like a smaller frame first and then work on adding muscle. That's what I would suggest. I did not start out drawing buff characters. They slowly got bigger as I got bigger. I mean that social media wise and muscle wise. And then also just be sure to practice every day. You know, you're not going to make progress if you don't do it consistently. I'd say at least try and do it weekly, even if it's just a doodle. I kind of naturally get my practicing because I doodle in class. I just doodle a lot. Some people have to sit down and be like, today I will draw and that is what I will do. And that's how they get, like everyone works differently. So that's my conclusion. Just remember, I'm not a professional. This is what's worked for me. And it's worked very well. It may not work for you. You may find your own method, but I do hope that this was helpful. My next video is hopefully going to be talking more about, someone asked how to draw, I guess, centaur legs. They use some sort of D word. It was like digitigrade, and I don't know how to pronounce it, and we're not going to try right now because I'm tired. I just woke up from a nap, which is why my voice sounds like this. But yes, anyways, good luck. You got this. Don't be discouraged. And as an announcement, I'm thinking about putting my real-time drawing videos behind a paywall since y'all kind of already get all the good stuff and I don't really have anything to sell because I'm not professional. So let me know what y'all think. I'm thinking of starting a Patreon and a YouTube members. You can subscribe to whichever you want. And I'm literally just going to post all my longer edited drawing videos on there. So have a good day. Be safe. Eat well. Oh, and also talk about fitness later. So that too. Bye.